Diablo 4 is about to get some massive changes. We got a ton of new updates to talk about. We also have a few controversies that we have to go over. Adam Fletcher's Twitter has been on fire lately, so we'll go over some of his tweets. We also got to talk about some of the controversies within the community as well as what's going to happen for Season 1. We got a lot to talk about. What's up, World? We're back in Venom, and we're checking out all things Diablo 4. Okay, so first up, let's just jump into some of the Season 1 details. I think the major PSA that most people have heard already, or if not, is that the Season 1 items will have an item level cap. So no items can drop over level 80. It's so good to hear that they're finally listening to certain things, or at least incorporating these things a lot quicker and what they really need to be. So sacred items will have a level cap of 60, and ancestral items will have a level cap of 80. I do think this is a bit of a band-aid fix for the overall problem, especially with endgame. However, this is a nice solution for trading for now to make it a little bit more seamless and a little more fun. Now, we do also have some updates on the Season 1 patch notes. We haven't received any patch notes as of yet, however, we do have some details around it. Adam Fletcher tweeted out here saying the notes are being localized. We have players globally, so we tend to wait until they are localized fully. It's 6,600 words, so it's quite a lot. Now, I know last time I said it was 13 pages, and it was actually 11 pages. However, with different font sizes, it was around 13 pages. This time, they're giving us the actual word count, which is quite a lot. Hopefully, a lot of this stuff is class balanced, because I think most of the stuff for Season 1 is not really content being added, but more so balance changes, as well as kind of changes around gearing, as we saw earlier. Now, someone by the name of Disco had a question for Adam here. He said, just out of curiosity, does anyone who worked on the original Diablo or Diablo 2 still work at Blizzard? Adam responded with, yes, a few do. For instance, our tech director on D4 worked on Diablo 2. It is to note that, yeah, Blizzard lost a lot of the Diablo talent from the original Diablo games. That kind of goes back to the Baldur's Gate 3 claim, where one of the developers from Diablo 4 was talking about how they don't have that sort of experience or previous game knowledge. Although Diablo has been in circulation for over 26 years, and the game that they cited had only been in circulation, I think, for 12 years. Essentially, his take didn't really line up. However, he does have a point where most of these developers working on Diablo games now, they were never working on any of the original Diablo games at all. So it is to note that it's a potential that these might not have the same philosophies as the older developers did. It is unfortunate to hear that Blizzard would let go of these legendary developers. However, it is what it is, and yeah, maybe with the Microsoft acquisition, we get some of them. Now, there has been some controversial stuff being posted lately, especially on the Twitter and even the Reddit. We have somebody here saying going back to Diablo 3 post D4. It is pretty bad when people are going back to your older games. I remember this happened with Halo and Halo Reach. Even with Halo 4, really, it happened as well. When Halo Reach first came out, a lot of people went back to Halo 3 because they just weren't satisfied with the new direction of the game. Reach eventually took off, and it was still a very, very decent game. However, when players from the original series are going back to the older games and not to your newer game, you know there's kind of a bit of a problem there. This happens a lot with Call of Duties 2 as well. I think it even happened with Warzone 1 until they shut off Warzone 1, so they wouldn't even let you play it. But a lot of people didn't like Warzone 2, including myself. I thought Warzone 2 was a very, very lazy rendition of the new Warzone. The map was pretty bad too. Warzone 1 got its servers shut off, and they wouldn't even let you play it anymore. So they made you go to Warzone 2. Especially with Blizzard games, they do that because they want the MUAs to show up on their quarterly earnings. It is kind of sad to see that they'll make those type of changes just to push new players to their newer games. I guess at least they don't do it with the Diablo series, although I doubt they would do it with Diablo, especially Diablo 2 Resurrect, or even Diablo 3 for that matter. However, I do feel bad for Adam Fletcher, as he is catching most of the flack in this kind of controversy of either playing older games, not liking the game, or whatever it is. He said a lot of tweets here recently, like this one from a sir who said, already uninstalled, y'all can keep the money, I don't care anymore, done with this franchise permanently. Adam Fletcher did respond, of course. He said, okay, sorry to hear. There has been a few other tweets like this, and I understand the frustration from a player's perspective. I know a lot of people are enjoying this game and they're having fun with it, which I think is great. I can't really hate on you for that. I don't necessarily hate the game, but I do think it lacks a lot of core functionality. I think it lacks a lot of passion, especially in the bare bones model of the game. The core gameplay, though, is actually not that bad. The core gameplay itself is actually pretty fun. The combat is not terrible. I would say I still did enjoy Lost Ark a little bit more, especially the fluidity of the combat there and the cooldown system. Not a fan of the resource generation in this game, and I'm not a fan of the long cooldowns, especially when there's only 5 buttons to hit. If there was a lot more buttons, I might be in favor of the cooldown system. However, currently it's just not fun to me. But overall, the combat is not bad, the gameplay is not bad, it's just the loop is terrible and the end game is atrocious. There's definitely a lot of core functionality that needs to be fixed as well, but other than that, they have a nice little bare bone structure to get something up and running. However, I do feel that Diablo 4 will not be a fully fledged game for several years, which is really sad to hear. Now, we do have a few updates on the Battle Pass stuff. Some people were purchasing 2 different copies or having multiple copies. We had a tweet here from Adam saying that people that purchase Diablo 4 Digital Deluxe and Ultimate Edition of the game receive 1 Battle Pass unlock. You'll be able to claim it, activate it via the Battle Pass menu after you start your seasonal character, and it can be claimed for Season 1 or a future season. Now, we had a tweet here from Nerd Object who asked, if we purchase multiple deluxe editions, one for console, one for PC, tied to the same account, is there a chance we get 2 premium unlocks for future seasons? Adam Fletcher did actually confirm that, so if you do have 2 copies of it, if you did purchase both copies on different platforms, you will actually receive 2 of those premium tokens. Now, as far as the Battle Pass being pay to win, I do have my theory on that, but I'll go over that in a second. Someone said here, will the Battle Pass tiers be purchasable on season launch, or will tiers only be earned in-game? Adam Fletcher did respond here saying there are tier skips for purchase after yes. Someone responded with, what exactly do tier skips do? Are they a character level skip? Adam did respond, they instantly unlock cosmetic rewards on the Battle Pass, no character level skipping that isn't in the game. However, my question is again, if you're level, let's say 80, and you're only level 70 in the Battle Pass, level 80 has an unlock for you to get a reward. If your Battle Pass is not up to that level 80 section to get that level 80 reward, can I pay for the 10 tier skips and then get that reward? If so, if it's not just tied to your character level, if it's tied to your Battle Pass level as well, then that is inherently pay to win. However, if it is only tied to your character level, and as soon as I hit level 80, I get that Battle Pass tier 80 reward, then no, it's not pay to win. I don't want to go back and forth on the pay to win notion. I had a comment in my last video saying, well, it's not pay to win. What exactly are you winning? However, in my opinion, you cannot have a video game without winning or losing. You either defeat the boss or you do not. You either win or you lose. So I don't want to get into the pay to win aspect of debates there. Regardless, if you can pay for power, if I can skip my character in the Battle Pass tiers and I unlock those before I would have unlocked those originally just playing the game, then yes, the Battle Pass is inherently pay to win. Maybe not as much so as a lot of other games. Still paying for power and paying for that advantage I do not like. Hopefully that is not a possibility and that isn't actually how it works. I haven't seen many people talk about this, so I am a little bit confused on it overall, but we'll have to wait and see. We do have some visuals here on the Malignant Hearts, and they are based on their colors. At least for the enemies as well, are also based on the colors of the enemy. So it looks like there's 4 different enemy types here, or 4 different colors of the enemies here that can carry the Malignant Hearts. We went over those in my last video, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave a little chart down below with all the Malignant Hearts. I also do have a little tooltip here for the dungeons and the XP per dungeon. This will definitely help you for leveling as well as timing wise. That way you can determine what is the best optimal route for you to do, or best optimal dungeons to farm while you're leveling. Especially if you've already skipped the campaign, that's practically the way to level anyway. I'll leave a link down to this chart below. But that should about cover for today's video. If you like, and subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces.